of people support legalizing cannabis in some form. Republicans in the state Senate are trying to pass their own bill to legalize marijuana, but only for medicinal use. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Attorney generals across the country supporting a bipartisan lawsuit against generic drug companies who allegedly unlawfully rig their prices. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
One of the things that is available here that's important to note is that if somebody purchased a generic prescription drug manufactured by either of these two companies, Lannett or Bausch, from May 2009 through December of 2019, they might be eligible for compensation.
Kaul says 30 companies are involved with the multi-state settlement. UW-Whitewater's launched a new major announcement in artificial intelligence, making it one of the early adopters within the UW system.
The program combines computer science, math, psychology, and philosophy, giving students both the technical training and ethical foundation needed for careers in AI. School leaders say the goal is to prepare graduates for in-demand jobs as artificial intelligence continues to shape the workforce across Wisconsin. UW-Whitewater rolled out an AI working group prior to the 2025-26 school year to explore the use of generative AI. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. In the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, the Dow is up 287 points, the Nasdaq down 277, S&P 500 up 22. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
You're invited. Vince Vitrano here for Colette Vacations, and I would love for you to join us. Southern Italy and Sicily this fall. We'll see it all. Palermo, that's where my family is from. Agrigento's Valley of the Temples. Amalfi Coast to Sorrento. Positano. We'll even walk in the excavated ruins of Pompeii and savor regional wines, specialty cuisine, and history. Maybe the best part, you don't have to plan a thing. Colette covers all the details. The flight, the meals, best hotels, and amazing local experiences. No wondering what to visit. How do we get there? They have tickets, all taken care of by my team at Colette. My wife, Nicole, and I would love for you to join us. The trip is in late October, and I can send you all the information. Send me an email, vince@wtmj.com. That's vince@wtmj.com. I'll send you the brochure, everything you need to know, including your all-in cost and options. Vinny's European vacation to Southern Italy and Sicily with Colette. Join us this fall.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks ended their 5-game losing streak. Milwaukee beat the Chicago Bulls 131-115 at home. Bucks will be back on the floor tonight for a home game against the New Orleans Pelicans. College basketball season continues tonight. The Milwaukee men will host Detroit Mercy. On the women's side, Wisconsin set for a home matchup with Indiana, and Marquette will take on Providence at home. Golden Eagles have won their last 16 matchups with the Friars. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. Baseball season around the corner. Trucks carrying spring training equipment left Milwaukee Tuesday ahead of workouts. Pitchers and catchers set to report to the team's Maryvale, Arizona facility February 11th, with full squad workouts scheduled to begin on the 17th. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We did have an earlier crash. It was off on the left shoulder. This is on the ramp from I-41 South to 43 South. It looks like that has been cleared off the roadway. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Look for partly cloudy skies today with a high of 25. Snow likely tomorrow, high of 32. Friday, just a slight chance of a wintry mix and a high 37. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 21, and just a slight chance of snow on Sunday with a high of 29. Right now, we're at 18 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:07.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here's Kristin Brey. And in for Steve Scafidi, here's Todd Allbaugh.
Listen, guess what today is?
Hump Day!
I woke up to a text from Steve Scafidi saying happy hump day. So even on vacation, he knows what day it is.
Love it.
And he's still celebrating. Do you still celebrate?
Yes, of course
Todd?
I do. I love it. I love that camel. I love the whole thing. I love hump day.
What year
Halfway
did that
through the work
commercial
week.
come out?
I don't know. I'm old. I don't know. Probably at least 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Watch it be like 2006. Doesn't that feel like isn't it
Maybe.
wild to get to the age when you're like 2006? You're like, that wasn't that long ago. And you're like, no, it was 20 years ago.
Welcome to my world, Kristin.
Yeah. You probably get it more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to people, my old job, and it was like, look, I gave an example. It was like, Todd, that's 15 or 20 years ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
in the state capitol.
We're closer to 2050 than we are to 2000.
Spooky.
Spooky. All right, well, welcome back.
It's my pleasure. I'm psyched.
We're happy to have you.
620 WTMJ, here we go.
For people who were not, so were you here early January?
No, December.
December. So you were here in December. For people who were not listening when you filled in for Steve last time, what should people know about you who are listening to the show today?
Well, first of all, thanks to you and for Steve, the great Steve Scafidi, incomparable Steve Scafidi, who's on
Careful.
vacation.
His ego's big enough. We don't need to give him so many
it's
compliments.
a pleasure to fill in while Steve's down south studying himself. And grew up in southwest Wisconsin, started in radio at age 17 at WRCO in southwest Wisconsin, and worked part-time there for 17, 18 years. Went to school at Platteville during the Bo Ryan years, helped cover that for, I was a broadcasting major. Did politics, was in, mainly for former state senator Dale Schultz, and former U.S. Congressman Scott Klug, and was there during the Act 10 2011 years. And then Dale ended up not running for re-election. And in 2011, I was a witness to a Senate Republican caucus, which, as it turns out, was about voting rights and voter suppression, so-called voter ID. And I witnessed some things behind closed doors that did not align with what I believed. And I left the party in 2011, finished out my time with Dale till 2015. Did a coffee shop in Madison, a couple of them. And 3 years ago, got back into broadcasting on Civic Media, had our own show for 3 years. And like a lot of media companies, Civic made a lot of changes. And so me and 5 other people were out in December. Unfortunately, more have followed. But you and I were just talking about the show. Media across this country, around the world, is changing. And so thankful to be at a place like Good Karma Broadcasting.
It'll be super interesting because, I think news for a while has been like figuring out its business model, right? Yeah. Like we know, having worked at, still working at Journal Sentinel, obviously I work here, the introduction of all the independent media and people making money on Substack, or being a news reporter online / influencer and brand deal. Like there's just so many different ways and so many different ways to get your news, so many ways to make money from it. But the big institutions still struggling to grow and have the resources that they need to be what they once were. And that's not just for news. Like I know we talk about Professor Scott Galloway a lot because Steve and I are both big fans of his, but just even the prediction of what's going to happen with Hollywood. Like I was telling you, when Mike and I were in California last month, we sat down because Mike worked at a agency right out of college, Endeavor, and we met up with one of his friends who's still an agent, who started on a desk with started in the newsroom, the mailroom with him, and then worked a desk and is now a literary agent. So he represents writers. And even the conversation with him was just bleak.
Yeah.
Of talking. It was the first time I ever met him, so he may just be a negative Nancy as a person in general, but also just talking about how the industry's changed, how agents make their money and how that's changing, and these package deals and studios and consolidation and everything is just how quickly things, the ground underneath us is moving.
I agree. I talked to a friend of mine, a CP, worked for a company called Literally Media that did Crack.com and eBaum's World. They're having major changes. To your point, this is not just radio. And I know I think there was an article in Milwaukee Business Journal about the changing radio aspects in Milwaukee alone. But this is not unique to Milwaukee or Wisconsin or anywhere else. It's nature, even globally. To your point, I guess some people would say it's a good thing because now we can get information in the palm of our hand. There are so many, whether you want to call them content creators or places to get your news, information, entertainment, but larger, more legacy companies are not making the money they once did, and they're freaking out because they don't know how to stop the bleeding. And so the immediate reaction, lay off staff, just lay people off. That's where the money is bleeding out. But if you don't have quality content, how do you bring in people to pay the money for the sponsorships to keep it going? And you see this at CBS, bringing Barry Weiss in from the Free Press, causing a lot of waves. At the highest, Barry Weiss called CBS, the venerable institution of CBS News, at an all-staff meeting last week, a week before. Barry Weiss, the head of CBS News now, referred to the division as, quote, a startup. That if you don't like startups, you should probably exit. And they're trying to buy people out at CBS Evening News now.
And what's happening at Washington Post? I was unaware. I feel like, again, one of all the things to keep up on. You were telling me this morning that there's like a mass exodus at Washington Post, too.
Jeff Bezos, of course, puts rockets into space, a number of other things, and Amazon, who owns the Washington Post. This started a couple of weeks ago. They pulled all of their reporters that were scheduled, already had Airbnbs in Italy to cover the Olympics. We'll get to that in hour number 2 today, the Wisconsin connection. But the Washington Post pulled out all of their reporters to cover the Olympics. And now today it sounds like they're going to clean house in their sports division, which is very well respected in the Ask the Guys over at ESPN Milwaukee. And they're also getting rid of the majority of their foreign correspondents, which has largely built the Washington Post.
Because of money?
Again,
it's like
Jeff Bezos,
the guy who owns you is like has the same amount of wealth as like 30% of the population combined. Right. They can't afford to keep people on staff.
But isn't this a larger, and we probably don't have time to get deep into this today, but I think I've heard you guys talk about it on this show before, Steve and others, the large monopolies of money people and this kind of incestuous connection to politics and power and what that really means to our legacy media, where we get information, and who controls that. Who puts that over the airwaves in our radios and our cars and trucks, and who puts it in the palms of our hand on our devices. And that's going to be a huge debate.
Certainly. Well, speaking of the rich and powerful who are dictating our lives, you had said to me, I think earlier this week, he's like, are you avoiding the Epstein thing? Because you listen to the show pretty regularly. And no, I am not avoiding it. We've just had a pretty packed schedule of guests this week so far. So when we come back, I'm going to vent a little bit as far as, because I don't think we're angry enough. And I think I'm not angry enough. And it's out of like survival tactics, because to let yourself feel the rage that I think is appropriate for what we're finding out is not sustainable. So let's talk more about that with Todd Allbaugh and Kristin Brey, me, on Point Taken.
What does meaningful giving really look like? Join Annex Wealth Management for our Women in Wealth series, Giving from the Heart, where purpose meets tax planning, on February 19th in Brookfield. Enjoy dinner, refreshments, and an engaging evening on giving with intention. Hear from a local panel of nonprofit leaders as they explore today's philanthropic trends, smart charitable strategies, and how your giving can reflect your values and legacy.
Hi, I'm Maggie Tate-Techman, Executive Director at Haws. I hope to see you on February 19th. Reserve your spot on the events page at annexwealth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure.
Find your perfect new home at capricommunities.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week we're talking ATV, UTVs in Wisconsin, a growing sport. And a great organization, Wisconsin Hero Outdoors, better known as WHO, helping veterans get back to the outdoors in Wisconsin.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve is on vacation until next Tuesday, but sitting in for him today is my good friend Todd Allbaugh. And we're gonna have a lot of fun today. We have some good guests coming up. Our mutual friend Trygve Olsen, also a Wisconsin native, is going to come on at the bottom of the hour to talk about a new AI used for good, I would say,
Finally.
as a tease for that. I don't even know where to start on this. So, as we all know, because it's obviously headline news every day, as far as the Clintons have agreed to testify in front of Congress, as we see more of these 3 million documents get deciphered and publicized, as far as the emails and pictures and everything. But last week, we know that over 3 million documents related to Jeffrey Epstein were released. But then on Monday, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the Justice Department does not expect to bring charges against anyone, despite the information that's in there. And I think President Trump also has said that it's time to focus on other things. He got into a tiff with Caitlin Collins in the Oval Office yesterday,
On his side, not hers.
Yeah, she as always was beyond professional as far as her ability to continue just asking follow-up questions while he told her to smile and how terrible she is at her job. And I have friends who took it upon themselves to spend the weekend going through the documents. We talked to Mary Spicuzza, who was here on Monday, talking about her spending time going through it, looking for Wisconsin connections, Wisconsin angles to write about for Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And I have not subjected myself to that, but it's still not that I am avoiding it entirely. I'm just not going to dedicate time to going through it. Have you?
Well, I sent you a couple of things. I haven't gone through the millions of pages. I've followed it pretty closely over the weekend, and I would say it's probably inappropriate for us to graphically read some of the grotesque things that are in these emails. I think it's a couple of things important to remember. A, as you mentioned, Todd Blanche, who's making the decision not to move forward in prosecution, is Donald Trump's former personal attorney, right? That's number one. Number two, some of the worst things in these emails released over the weekend included testimony of victims, alleged victims, if you want to say that, survivors, who said these things under penalty of perjury in a federal court, could face years in prison if they were untrue. And the grotesqueness of abuse from these witnesses, naming President Trump as one of the people doing this, is beyond grotesque to me. And the fact that you have those things that seem to be very, very, very bad, and not just Trump, but other people. Howard Lutnick is named in this. The new guy that is being nominated by Trump to be the Fed chair is in this. Prince Andrew, Sarah Ferguson, his ex-wife, is shutting down her foundation over this around the world. Implications. Then you connect that to the money chain. And I want to be very careful here. But here's a fact for you that's not being talked about. Former Republican governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, is in the Epstein files. Full stop. Before I make it sensational, it is over a fundraiser. This is not testimony. This is an email where Walker, while governor in 2012, sitting governor, was out in New York raising money along with David Koch of the Koch brothers, and Jeffrey Epstein was invited to a quote-unquote private dinner. As someone who used to manage the schedule and on the government side and political on the campaign side, when my former boss Dale Schultz was majority leader of the Wisconsin State Senate, no way that he would have gone into a room like that and we didn't know who was in that room.
Yeah.
So to think that and this is after Epstein was a convicted sex offender, and Scott,
because the first charge was like 2005 or 2006,
and so Scott Walker, at least his team, was willing to set Scott Walker down and try to get money from Jeffrey Epstein over that. Those are the 2 points I want to make. But I want to hear, as a woman, as a mom, I know Mary Spacuzza talked about this. What are you feeling?
It is so emblematic of, like I said before, I don't think any of us are angry enough. And I think to shield yourself from really doing the deep dive, which to a certain extent I would say that I have done, is because you are shielding yourself from being so utterly enraged, not only by the fact of what this cabal of sexual predators did to young girls, but the fact that they're all going to get away with it. And the fact that this is how the world works. And now it's like I'm going to cry. Releasing what they've released and showing a glimpse of how bad it was. And then in the same breath saying, throw your hands up in the air and not going to do anything about it. And it speaks to how powerless I feel about the fact that over the last 20 years, how much we see billionaires just impacting our elections, our politics, and is that the ever small, like the small circle of people who run everything and who are protected no matter what, no matter how heinous their crimes are, that they can just use and abuse people and throw them away. And even once we start getting actual documentation that this happened, there's nothing to be done about it. And we're just supposed to sit here in our anger and not actually be able to do anything except maybe shame them. That's the worst thing that will happen, is that if your name was in here and there's not evidence that can be in court, all we can do is shame you. And that's it. That's the only accountability that will end up happening from this.
Is there nothing to be done, or are there choices?
There's choices. There are choices
made?
Continuing to protect people, because it is, I almost swore, it is complete BS that the only two people that have been held accountable for this are Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Who were these girls trafficked to? We have the emails. We have emails where he says that your littlest girl was naughty.
And
we have a 9-year-old Brazilian girl who just said she's cute and sexy. Who are these emails to? And these girls were trafficked to someone, and sometimes boys potentially. Mm-hmm. And they're just going to be let go and to continue to live their lives and accumulate wealth and influence every aspect of our lives. And that's just how it is.
The second tier of this, in my opinion, is you and I know people here in Wisconsin, but there are people, I wasn't deep and I was no big name in politics, but I saw enough behind the curtain. There are people in this state who are lobbyists, who have launched communication companies and strategy companies, who made their initial money off of these same people, ran in these same circles. So the people of Wisconsin, on both sides of the aisle, I'll say.
Oh, yeah. Who have Wisdom's gotten a lot of their money from? And right. How often is he in these files?
Right. I mean, Bill Gates is in the files. And so these people that are look, I could have stayed in state government if I didn't blow the whistle on what was happening on voter ID, but I chose to. I'm nothing special, but I did what my mom told me: speak up. Other people haven't, and they're making huge amounts of money, and it's on the backs of these victims.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a breath. Let's take a break, and we'll be back after this.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had snoring issues, right? Kept my wife, Kathy, up many nights, too many nights. Probably woke myself up a lot more than I realized. Poor sleep, tossing and turning, tired mornings. Kristin would say grouchy mornings on the radio. But I did something about it, which is me, action plan guy. I went to Advent as a customer and a client, 30-minute visit. They walked me through my issues, answered my questions, added a really simple sleep study at home, determined my problem, sinuses, nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, breathing better than ever, 5.5 years ago. Now I sleep through the whole night. That's worth the price of admission. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. AdventKnows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Every year I make the same resolutions.
What, get rid of your husband?
Don't be silly. No, get organized. And I'm finally keeping it.
Because we're turning that cluttered closet into a custom space that actually works.
More shelves, better hanging.
Space for shoes and sanity.
Start the new year with a closet that makes your mornings easier.
It's one resolution you don't have to do alone. We'll design it with you.
Get started at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Half of American parents cannot afford diapers. This is WTMJ's Kristin Brey. This spring, WTMJ and the Milwaukee Diaper Mission are teaming up to change that. Join me for WTMJ Cares, Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Join us March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls, where you can bowl with your favorite WTMJ hosts. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 to get more information on how you can be part of our latest WTMJ Cares event. All right, I took a breath. I still maintain that we're not angry enough, but we also still have to do a show.
I'm really glad because I do listen to the show, and I follow you on socials. And you have a unique ability. One of the many things I love about you as a friend and a professional is you have a unique ability to connect with your audience because you are who you are. I think those are the best broadcasters. Steve is talking about that. And I think a lot of people are waiting to hear from you on that, so thank you for doing that. And during the break, I mean, you've left home. You've gone out to L.A. You've been vulnerable.
And I did think about this. I mean, we only have a couple, like less than a minute before we go to news. But I think about the profile of the young women who were trafficked. And I think about moving to L.A. at 16. And I was lucky enough to have my parents come with me. But being like a naive, optimistic Midwest girl, teenager in L.A. and how easily it could have been me, not with Epstein, because he doesn't necessarily in LA, but like just taken advantage of. You know, oh, you want to be an actress?
Yeah.
You want to be a model? I can help you with that. And just all of a sudden you're down a very different path than what I actually went down. And it's terrifying, and it's terrifying to be a mom of a daughter, to know how easily that could happen. But here we are. All right, ABC News and local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump's point man on immigration enforcement says hundreds of federal agents will be leaving Minneapolis beginning today. Tom Homan says going forward, his department plans to make the operations more efficient. However, he continues to say anyone in the country illegally will still be considered a target. In court now, the man convicted of hiding in the bushes with a gun, plotting to kill President Trump in 2024.
Federal prosecutors say Ryan Ruth should be imprisoned for life, arguing he painstakingly plotted to kill then-candidate Trump in the weeks before the 2024 election and has since shown no remorse or regret. Ruth's court-appointed defense attorney is asking for a 27-year sentence, saying that now 60-year-old should not have to die in prison. Trump-appointed District Court Judge Eileen Cannon will decide.
ABC Stephen Portnoy. President Trump says he and Chinese President Xi Jinping discussed the situation in Iran during a wide-ranging phone call today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1031. I'm Connie Weber. Nearly 60% of adults disapprove of the way ICE is handling its job, while less than half approve, according to a new Marquette Law School national poll. Support breaks sharply along party lines, with most Republicans approving compared to very few Democrats. About a third of voters say the Minneapolis shooting of Renee Good was justified, while most say it was not. Support for deporting immigrants in the U.S. illegally remains steady, with over half in favor. Support drops when it comes to deporting longtime residents with no criminal record. 25-year-old woman from Waukesha facing charges after a series of violent incidents in Gurnee, Illinois. Caitlin Harmon was charged Tuesday morning with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated battery, and leaving the scene of a crash that injured a 79-year-old man and a 60-year-old woman. In addition to a 30-year-old man in a separate knife-related incident, the 79-year-old hospitalized in critical but stable condition, the other victims treated and released. Lawmakers in Madison beginning talks on a bill that would fund Wisconsin's public affairs network Wisconsin Eye through interest on a $10 million trust fund. The bill will require several actions by Wisconsin Eye to receive the trust fund interest. The network resumed broadcast Monday after shutting down in December due to a lack of funds. Time now for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 371 points at 49,612. The Nasdaq is down 260 at 22,994. S&P 500 down 18 points at 6,899. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 north, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Wisconsin Highway 165. Could be some lane closures there, some debris in the roadway that they're working on. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny and 25 today, partly cloudy and 12 for your overnight low. Light snow likely tomorrow, maybe around an inch possible with a high of 32. Slight chance of snow showers Friday, high 37. Sunny, cold on Saturday with a high 21. And Sunday morning snow, then mostly cloudy with a high 29. It's 12 in Madison, 14 in Green Bay, and 21 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
We understand it's getting harder for you to find new employees. That's why we recommend using broadcast media to our clients to help find them. And you know what? It works. For years, we've used it, and over we fill job fairs and keep a steady new flow of employees for some pretty important clients. Broadcast advertising works for employee recruitment. But with our market leverage, you'll get a lot more for your money than you'll get on your own. Anderson-Smith.com. We help businesses find new employees.
Anybody out there like political ads? I already know your answer, and it's because a lot of them are bad. Phony dialogue with the sound effects of a diner in the background, dramatic voiceovers with scary music that changes into happy, hopeful music when the candidate being pushed is described. Whatever happened to an honest pitch from a candidate that doesn't sound like they're reading, but rather expressing their genuine passion to bring about change? Use us and we'll drive that home, and voters will believe you. Anderson-Smith.com. We will help you win in the next election.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care switched from a previous vendor to business technology from James Imaging Systems. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. It's not just all about the money. We're getting value here as well.
Robert Prang, CIO at Tri-City National Bank, likes the fact that James Imaging is local.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
And Junior Achievement of Wisconsin VP of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, had this advice for others.
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey, here with Todd Allbaugh, my good friend. It was your 20th anniversary last time you were on, as far as your broadcasting experience? Is your mic on?
Oh, there.
I was doing so well. It was 21, and then I've been putting resumes together lately. I think I did the math correctly. I'm now in my 23rd year of broadcasting, and I started it right here with you on WTMJ. How about that?
Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are waiting for our next guest to be able to be connected. But if we're going to move into conversations around polarization, have you lost any friends or friendship over polarization, Todd?
That's a great question. Nobody who was close to me.
Okay.
I've had people tangentially in politics that pulled away, people that were just more like as a course of business and politics. But in terms of people that I really was a real friend with, no.
Got it. All right. It sounds like we have Mr. Trygve Olsen on the line with us right now. Trygve, are you there?
I am.
Great. Great.
Figured it out.
And I
This
can
is
also see you.
complicated.
You're also on the live stream. We got it figured out. All right.
You know, I was listening to. Do you know that 60 songs that define the 90s podcast?
I don't.
So that oh my God, it's so good. It's a music critic and it's hilarious. But he's now doing the 2000s, and Abigail Lundgren or whatever her name is. Why do you have to go and make things so complicated? Was a song last night. So.
I don't know what that tangent was, but we're gonna go with it.
It was like foreboding for the
feet. Okay,
Right.
got it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Trygve Olsen, Wisconsin native, Packers owner, senior advisor to the Lincoln Project, former Republican operative, and now an AI entrepreneur. Welcome to Point Taken. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I don't know if I'm an AI entrepreneur, but yeah, we came up with an innovative way to try and solve a problem.
Exactly. So as I just asked Todd, as far as, there's many people who I don't think it's a unique story who have strained, if not broken relationships with friends and family over politics. And you are someone who has worked in politics for a long time. But tell us a little bit more about where the idea came from to utilize AI to solve this problem.
Yeah, it started with, back after the 2000 elections. I do work with a C4, a nonprofit, that we understood that between what we saw with George Floyd in the Twin Cities, what we saw on January 6th, that there was something afoot that needed to be understood. And so we spent 5 years studying basically 4,000 Americans, including a lot in Wisconsin, to try and understand as much as possible about them and where these divides were occurring and like what's going on. And so we started doing that research, and not long after ChatGPT came out, I was talking about the research to somebody, and they said, you should try and run some of it through ChatGPT, see what you get. And I was like, that's a great idea. And then when my daughter got home from middle school, I'm like, do you know what Chat SVG is, Hula? And some AI thing or something. But
Dad.
what we eventually, I know, seriously. But and don't even get me started on your last bit about daughters, Kristin. I completely agree with what you're saying from a dad's perspective. Yeah. Anyway, to that end, one of the things that we discovered is dads and daughters were becoming estranged over politics.
Specifically.
Specifically. In part because there is a unique dynamic that we had identified in our research. The dad-daughter relationship is unique. If you ask, like if I say to you, Kristin, what's your role in your kids' lives? You're going to say, something different now than you'll be saying when, daughter's 28 or something like that, right? Like the role changes. The same as with moms and sons, same as with dads and sons. But with dads and daughters, dads universally, and I bet this is true of your dad, from the day he found out that he was having you to today, he views his role as your protector. It is just what dads do. And daughters see that, and what happens is we've entered a political sphere where daughters are afraid in a lot of cases, and the dads tend to be more MAGA. And when they start having a conversation, it devolves quickly because in the case of the daughters, they're talking about values and the dads think they're talking about tax policy. And so in studying that, we were doing focus groups in Detroit. After the focus group, a Detroit cop came up to me. He'd been a homicide detective for 30 years in inner city Detroit, and I could see he had tears welling in his eyes, and he said, "I lost my daughter over politics. We got in a fight, and we haven't spoken for 3 years, and I thought I understood what she was talking about, but it wasn't until tonight that I got it. You got to help me get her back." And then under his breath, he said to me, "Do you know what it's like to lose your only child?" And unfortunately, I knew what that was like from our first child. And so now you have this Detroit cop in tears, and I'm in tears. "I'll help you, man. I'll figure out something." And so that led to what can we do to help? And we explored all kinds of options. And then we realized that we could start partnering with people. I was playing around with AI. And I reached out to an old colleague who's at MIT, and he started helping shape what we were thinking. And when we started telling people our vision, we had a great team of people who came forward and said, "What can I do to help?" Programmers and academics.
So let's put that as the tease of what the vision is, because we got to take a break right now. But I am excited to get into it when we come back, and actually, I think it's live, right? So we can, by the end, tell people that they can go use this tool. So when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Trygve Olsen on how he is trying to help that Detroit homicide cop get his daughter back, along with all of us who have strained, if not broken, relationships that have devolved over politics. So stay with us to hear more about that vision, that mission, and the tool that now exists that could help you on Point Taken.
Two hearts are interlinked,
intertwined,
permanently connected like two links in a chain.
The perfect symbol of a lifetime commitment.
One of the hearts is silver white.
The other is silver pink.
And each of the hearts is inlaid with tiny little diamonds that glitter like stars on a clear winter night.
The interlinked hearts are hanging on to each other as they dangle on the end of a chain.
Another perfect symbol of having a life partner.
It's not only the perfect symbol of a lifetime commitment, it's an incredibly beautiful diamond pendant.
Just $238.
The Kissing Hearts diamond pendant is part of the Kissing Hearts collection at Kessler's.
Even though it's just $238, it's still one of the most expensive things in the collection.
I'm buying the two-tone Kissing Hearts cross.
The mother and child is spellbinding.
There's a Kissing Hearts ring.
Kissing Hearts earrings.
And 19 other Kissing Hearts pendants.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, it's David Nason from The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Every Saturday morning, we talk about keeping your home in top shape. One issue I hear all the time, wet basements and foundation problems.
And that's where Accurate Basement Repair comes in. I'm Chris Mancuso, and for over 20 years, we've been The Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing.
Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Visit AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Accurate Basement Repair.
We're not just good, we're accurate. Catch Accurate Basement Repair on The Fix-It Show and WTMJ.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. When you want to see more of Europe, Princess Cruises delivers. With Princess Cruises and Fox World Travel, explore iconic Mediterranean ports by day, then relax in classic comfort by night. From immersive shore excursions to destination-inspired dining, every moment is designed to feel effortless. Ready to set sail on your Mediterranean adventure? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book your European getaway.
Enjoy a free dinner on Valentine's Day at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Savor a 10-ounce prime rib with a 5-ounce lobster tail and all the sides for $74.99 for 2 dinners. Call and reserve your free Valentine's Day dinner today.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Bryce. Todd Allbaugh is sitting in for Steve Scafidi for today, and we are very appreciative of that. And we're also talking to Trygve Olsen. You have so many commas after your name. So what's the shorthand of how you like to be introduced these days, Trygve?
You can just call me Trygve.
All right, there we go. We'll call you Trygve. All right.
That's perfectly good.
His AI calls him, sir.
Yes, exactly.
During the beta of this, he was doing stuff. He was showing me how he taught it. And he goes, hey, what's the first rule? And I got to clean up for radio, but the AI says, don't effing lie. He goes, that's right.
That's a good rule for AI. All right, so you gave us the backstory as far as where this came from, the ideas for it, and the problem that you're trying to solve as far as having people have better conversations around politics. So how have you trained this? I mean, it's an LLM, right? It's similar to ChatGPT, but more programmed towards helping people talk about politics. So how does it work, and how are you hoping people will use it?
So it's pretty straightforward, and the more you put into it, the better off you're going to be. And so I think the first thing that I should say to everybody is we do not train, track, or target people off their data. And we use from the start, that was key to us. We have patent pending blockchain technology that once a person signs up, everything that their data is a direct link to them and no one else. So we can't see what people put in. Second, we're giving it away for free. It's a pay it forward model. If you find it helpful, you can donate. You can do that to help somebody else use it. If you can't, somebody else has already covered your costs. So those are two just key things. In terms of how it actually works, the user goes in. They describe themselves. The AI will probably ask them a few questions to get to understand them better, and it's bouncing them back off of all of the 5,000 people that we've spent studying for 5 years. So it's figuring out sort of who you are, how you process things, whatever. Then you describe the person that you're having a hard time having a conversation with. In my case, it used to be my mother. And so I do the same, describing her. And then you start working with a coach that's been trained based on the best practices from all kinds of experts that we've worked with. And it gives you feedback, and you also see what the other person is actually hearing. And what they're thinking about what you're saying. So it gives you a chance to really put yourself in the other person's shoes.
So does it simulate a conversation?
Yeah, you actually role play the conversation.
Interesting. Todd, have you played with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough. He showed me some of the beta stuff, and I messed around a little bit, and I was absolutely blown away. And Trygve and I have known each other a long time through politics, and now through being on radio together the last 3 years. I've traveled with him a lot. Trygve's Rolodex is incredible, by the way. The coolest Rolodex I've ever seen from anybody. But I just want to thank you publicly, Trygve, because to use your position, your contacts, that Rolodex, to put this together for good, I think is extraordinary. And I was blown away. And by the way, it's called Listen to You. Listen to You.
Yeah.
And is it available like on...
Yeah, it's www.lstn to the number 2 u, the letter u.us.
All right, so no, it's taken out the vowels of listen.
Yeah.
To you, not to be confused with you too.
And we that's a real issue because you have to obviously find domains, and things like listen are taken up. But what was cool about it is one of the biggest advertising agencies in the world, Pro Bono, helped us name it because they cared about the mission. And one of the coolest parts for me in this is if you come up with a dream of doing something, the number of people who are willing to share that and join in is really cool.
So one of the things as we explore the idea of polarization, which is something that I am going to spend a lot of time doing this year, and I feel like it's different at different levels. Like there's polarization in our actual politics of our policymakers and like the stalemates that it creates. Mm-hmm. There's and then there's obviously the family part of it. There's the relationship part of it. And do you see this as goals being different depending on what the relationship is? Because I think there's a lot of people who feel like they don't want to, what they're fighting for and the stakes being as high when it comes to their actual politics and what they're willing to compromise on in order to have a relationship with a family member. And so like when you think about what is the how is it programmed for what end? Like what is the goal? Is it to be able to keep lines of communication, or is it to be able to compromise, or like what are we working towards when we try to bridge these relationships?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I think you have two questions. So one, with the tool itself, right? So the coach is trained on, there are about 30 different sort of coaching models based on best practices for hard communications, right? And the tool, I should be clear, because Todd started alluding to using the tool. So the tool is being given away for free for political conversations. So if you start, so one of the things we found in testing, which was fine, we had some people that were trying to use it for, how do I have a better conversation with my Tinder date? I can't have people giving their hard-earned money for that. So if you get outside, if you have a job interview or something like that, it isn't going to help you. Todd happened to see a version before we put those in, so
which was great, by the way,
for all kinds of things. But you're going to be limited to political conversations. As to your question, though, I think there's two pieces to it. Within our immediate relationships, close family relationships, the tool is going to adjust based on the context. So what happens is you get coaching based off of the two descriptions, and then it says, why don't you role play a conversation so I can see you play? I thought a lot about that because when I was in high school, I was a tennis player. Oops, you're going to cut me off.
I was going to say, let's think about the question. We got to come back and finish up the hour. But Trygve Olsen, founder of Listen to You, we'll talk about exactly what the end goal is when people are using this tool after this.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Well, you made it. 2025 is in the books. Or is it? Are your books ready for 2026? Have you been able to plan for 2026 growth? If you feel like you are running your business on a wing and a prayer, let us help you make sense of your numbers and get your business in financial shape to move forward in 2026. Don't be stuck in the past trying to clean up your books. Get a head start on making 2026 your best year yet. Make the new tax laws work for you to put more money in your pocket. Call us now to see what your business can do. The first meeting is free. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040. Or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws sale is here. Now through February 8th. Save on everything pet and wild bird at Fleet Farm. Find great deals on food, treats, and toys for your furry and feathered friends. And hey, the big game is right around the corner, and Fleet Farm is here to help you host a winning game day party. Score deals on snacks, furniture, and must-have cookware. DeWalt deals, those deal days are going on right now at Fleet Farm. Find exclusive savings on trusted power tool combos, accessories, storage, and more. Only in-store at Fleet Farm. The DeWalt deal days now through Sunday, only at Fleet Farm.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, Trigby, we only have about a minute. So as far as my last question or just the final pitch for why you think this is going to be such a useful tool for people who want to talk politics, want to talk about politics better. So again, the website is LSTN, the numeral 2, the letter U.us. So Trigby, final pitch on this amazing new tool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if, there's a lot going on. If you're having a hard time talking with people in your close group, the guys you go to the bar with, your members of your family, this tool will help you see things from their perspective. And the first step in finding understanding and persuading people, quite frankly, is opening up a line of communication to have conversations about hard things. And this gives you proven methods to practice in a safe space with yourself.
I think it speaks to the question of I hear this all the time. How do I start the conversation?
Yeah.
How do I just talk? I can't talk to these people. And so this is great. I love it.
Absolutely. All right. I wish we could talk. We could talk all day with you, Trigby, but thank you so much for making time with us today. I'm excited to continue to use this tool. Again, it's Listen to You, LSTN2U.us. Have a great day, Trigby.
Yeah. Thank you, Kristin.
Absolutely.
See you, Todd.
All
Thanks,
right.
Kristin.
Happy Hour News is next. This is Point Taken.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the Big Beautiful Bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Pelicans on Lake Michigan? Yeah, good luck with that.
Why this beat so complex?
And here's a steal. Rollins picks the pocket of Schroeder. He ducks it home on the other side. Ryan Rollins doing Rollins kind of work.
The Bucks take on the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at Fiserv Forum. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 21 degrees, mostly sunny today with a high 25. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. 38-year-old man shot and killed by Milwaukee police during a vehicle chase and foot pursuit on the city's northwest side. Happened last night, 98th and Lisbon. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman says officers saw the suspect with the gun, gave several commands to drop it, and when he refused the commands, Norman says officers shot him.
The officers that discharged their firearms are a 46-year-old male with over 10 years of service and a 40-year-old male with over 8 years of service. They will be placed on administrative duty as is routine in officer-involved shootings.
A gun was recovered at the scene. Police are still searching for a passenger who was in the vehicle. Border Czar Tom Homan today announcing an immediate drawdown of 700 federal immigration agents from Minnesota at a news conference in Minneapolis. Homan said the reduction's happening because state and local officials are turning over immigrants already under arrest.
We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation.
Holman, who arrived in Minnesota last week after the fatal shootings of 2 U.S. citizens, says he'll be speaking with state and local officials again later today. Meanwhile, a new Marquette Law School national poll shows nearly 60% of adults disapprove of the way ICE is handling its job. Less than half approve. About a third of voters say the Minneapolis shooting of Renee Good was justified. Most say it was not. Support for deporting immigrants in the U.S. illegally remains steady, with over half in favor, but support drops when it comes to deporting longtime residents with no criminal record. The Arizona sheriff leading the search for Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother believes she's alive. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie first reported missing Sunday after she didn't show up to church that morning. Appearing on the Today Show this morning, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said we have nothing else to go on but the belief that she is here. Lawmakers from both parties now pushing back on President Trump's repeated calls for the federal government to take over running elections. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune said he is not in favor of federalizing elections. Kevin Cramer, another Republican senator, said that this still sounds like a bad idea to him. And notably, of course, Democrats are also pushing back.
The Constitution gives the power to states to run elections. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president believes in the U.S. Constitution. A bill to fund Wisconsin's public affairs broadcasting network working its way through Madison and comes with a few caveats.
The bill will fund Wisconsin Eye through interest generated from a $10 million trust fund. But as Assembly Minority Leader Greta Neubauer notes, the bill includes requirements such as keeping live streams free and giving legislative leaders designees on the group's board.
These are common sense requirements that will make sure Wisconsinites have strong access to the Capitol for years to come.
Board Chair Mark O'Connell says while the bill needs a little work,
every citizen of this state should be incredibly appreciative of the legislature, as are we.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. In the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, Dow up 305 points, the Nasdaq down 324, S&P 500 down 28. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:05.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn.
My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Milwaukee Bucks beat the Chicago Bulls 131-115 at home. Bucks will be back on the floor tonight for a home game against the New Orleans Pelicans. College basketball season continues tonight. The Milwaukee men will host Detroit Mercy. On the women's side, Wisconsin set for a home matchup with Indiana. Marquette will take on Providence at home. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. Baseball season around the corner. Trucks carrying spring training equipment left Milwaukee ahead of workouts. Pitchers and catchers report to the team's Maryvale, Arizona facility February 11th, with full squad workouts scheduled to begin on the 17th. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Just a couple of broken down vehicles. Both are on I-94 and both looks like are off right. One I-94 west about 3/4 of a mile beyond the ramp from Blue Mound Road. Right shoulder there blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny today, high 25, partly cloudy 12 tonight. Light snow likely tomorrow, maybe an inch possible, with a high of 32. Slight chance of snow showers on Friday, becoming partly cloudy, 37. Sunny and cold on Saturday, 21 for the high, and Sunday morning snow, then a high of 29. 15 in Madison, 16 in Green Bay, 21 in Milwaukee. I'm Condi Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here's Kristin Brey. And in for Steve Scafidi, here's Todd Allbaugh.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of the Hump Day edition of Point Taken. As the big voice guy just said, Todd Allbaugh, he's sitting in with me. And
excited to be here.
The first hour just went by so quickly.
Right?
You know what else went by really quickly is... what is going on with Greenland now? That was only, not even 2 weeks ago?
Jimmy Kimmel.
That we were sending troops and willing to throw it all away with our European allies just to be able to get Greenland. That was funny. My brother recently flew back from Dubai.
Oh, really?
And he was there for a business thing.
Everybody's going to Dubai.
I know. And he did say it was very cool. I have yet to go to Dubai. But he sent from the plane, because that's where technology is now. So from his flight, he showed a picture of... when they were flying over Greenland, basically, and where it is on the map, how big it is on the map. He goes, when you look at it like this, it makes a lot of sense of why we would want this, if I'm being honest, right? Well, no, it's just as far as and this is what keeps coming back to, right? As far as the location and the size of Greenland being a security concern, and thus why we have army bases there, and thus, I guess, kind of underscoring the reason why we want this so badly, maybe. But how closely have you been following this as far as the fallout that has happened since it seems like Trump has retreated back from his original stance of we're going to go take it?
Well, what's so interesting, and we're going to connect here with Kristin Jensen in a minute, but I've known Kristin for over 25 years as a friend. He's one of the most powerful people in terms of politics in Denmark over the years. He was a member of parliament, and he was he was the Minister of Finance, basically our Secretary of the Treasury, Minister of Finance, budget director type of person, and ended up being the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which is our equivalent to Secretary of State. So
he's a big deal over in Denmark.
He's a big deal over
okay.
and now he's out of politics.
And you're friends with him.
And I'm a friend, yeah. And now he's a CEO of Green Power Denmark, a wind company in Denmark. So I have a personal interest in following this and knowing a lot over the years through Kristin. But and two things. Number one, this is factual, based on treaties and things that are codified. Is the fact that the United States could basically have as many military bases there as we want. And it appears that President Trump now has just simply reverted and declared victory by going back to what already existed. But in the meantime, lots of damage, in my opinion, has been done.
Absolutely. And so now let's get the opinion of Kristin Jensen, who joins us on the phone right now.
That's great. Joining us right now, as we said, former member of parliament, former finance and taxation minister and foreign affairs, also a UN envoy, and has spent time here in the great state of Wisconsin, my longtime friend, Minister Jensen. I'll just go with Kristin. How are you, my friend?
I'm just fine. Thank you, Todd. It's good to see you, even though we're so far apart. It's so good to hear your voice again.
I was going to say, what time is it in Denmark right now?
It's just around 6 p.m., a little over 6 p.m., so we're getting ready for dinner here.
So I'm sorry to interrupt your dinner. Very quickly, just to show listeners, fans, what this guy is about. Last time we saw each other, I was trying to think, Kristin, it's been 10 years. In 2016, he was still a foreign minister, and I went out to meet him. He said, Todd, I'm going to be in New York. Could you come out? I ended up going out, and we met in Manhattan at a hotel lobby, in the Westin Hotel, I believe it was. And this big entourage and police, everything pulled up, Secret Service, and out jumps John Kerry, then Secretary of State of the United States, came to the lobby. And Kristin comes in right behind him. I said, were you with them? And he goes, nah, I was with them yesterday. and I said, don't you have an entourage? Where's your detail? And he goes, yes. And I came out of my hotel, and they started following me. And I said, guys, I'll be okay. Stay here. And I said, well, where do you want to go? I'm like, we'll go to some fancy place. And he goes, Todd, I just want to have a beer and a burger. So we went to some dive bar in Manhattan and drank Sam Adams and had a burger. So that's the kind of guy Kristin is.
There you go.
Kristin, it's great to have you here. We set it up and gave your experience before you came on. Help our listeners understand the facts here. Because through U.S. media, we've been inundated and through political, smoke screens, I'll call it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Give us the facts. There's a guy called Leif Erikson. Tell us the facts all the way back. How did it come that Greenland is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark?
Well, back in the days where we were still Vikings conquering the world with sword and shield, a young Danish-Norwegian Viking called Leif Erikson, he went on a sail. He went on a cruise where no one has went before, and he came to this strange island he called Land of Wineland, and that was actually the part of Canada right now. So the first white people to come to the United States, North America, was not some Portuguese guy called Christopher Columbus. It was actually a Dane called Leif. And he looked at it and said, well, there's nothing in there for me. I go back to Greenland, go back to Norway and Denmark, which at that time was just one kingdom. So he returned, and we just said, you guys can have U.S., we'll keep Greenland. And since for around 300 years ago, there has been a Danish population in Greenland. Greenland has been a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Since then, they have had more and more self-governance, and they're now an independent nation within the Kingdom of Denmark. We have a foreign policy together. We have the same currency. We have the same king. But they decide pretty much for themselves where they want to go. And if at some point down the road they would like to be an independent country for themselves, it's totally okay with us. They decide for themselves. But as of now, it is them who decide, not some guy in Washington and not the government of Denmark. It is the Greenlandic people, and what they have said so clearly is, we want to be a part of the Kingdom of Denmark and nothing else right now.
So Go ahead.
I was going to say, so what are the benefits as far as is it? I'm trying to put this in context of what I understand from like American policy. So is the relationship between Greenland and Denmark similar to like ours with Puerto Rico, as far as like it's an independent country, like you said, that they could have independence if they wanted to, but there are benefits to their economy, to their political system by having the existing relationship with Denmark?
Well, we pay a sum to the government of Greenland every year. If a young person from Greenland wants to go to Denmark to study, they have the education for free. If they have a problem in the health system in Greenland, we assist them for free from Denmark. As I recall, Puerto Rico do not have a seat in the Congress.
No,
but
not a voting
Greenland
one.
has.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
yeah. I think they want to have, but Greenland has 2 seats in the Danish Parliament.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
From time to time, those seats are the swing votes in the Parliament. So they have full right to decide over issues decided in the Danish Parliament. So we have a much more integrated relation between Denmark and Greenland than you have with Puerto Rico.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. All right, let's take a break really quickly and then come back. I want to hear a little bit more about, from a Dane's perspective, like we get inundated with American media, but what is the conversation like over where you are, and how do we move forward together as allies? So stay with us. Our guest is Kristin Jensen. Todd Allbaugh's here. I am Kristin Brey, and this is Point Taken.
Anglers, looking to up your game on Lake Michigan? Join MW Marine in Hales Corners for a free fishing seminar this Saturday at 11 a.m. Meet Tyler Schrader, Ranger and Mercury Pro, as he gives an introduction to small boat Lake Michigan trolling. Perfect for weekend fishermen. No reservations needed, just show up. Plus, check out all the new boats on display. That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. at MW Marine in Hales Corners.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. When you want to see more of Europe, Princess Cruises delivers. With Princess Cruises and Fox World Travel, explore iconic Mediterranean ports by day, then relax in classic comfort by night. From immersive shore excursions to destination-inspired dining, every moment is designed to feel effortless. Ready to set sail on your Mediterranean adventure? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book your European getaway.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Todd Allbaugh, sitting in for Steve Scafidi, along with the wonderful, the talented, my friend Kristin Brey. Great to have you along on 620 WTMJ, talking to another friend across the ocean, across the pond, in the great country of Denmark. He is Kristin Jensen, former, among other things, member of Parliament and Minister of Foreign Affairs, joins us live. Now he is the CEO of Green Power Denmark. Kristin, time is always short in these things, about a little over 5 minutes left here, or 6 or so. Let's get right to the point here. Our president, President Trump, has made this big deal about, quote unquote, I need this in order for security. Talk to folks a little bit about the facts about what exists currently between the country of Denmark and the United States in terms of security.
Well, back in the times of the Second World War, there was an agreement between the ambassador of Denmark to the United States and the president that U.S. could use Greenland for any security measures that was necessary to protect North America, Canada, and the United States. And when Second World War was over, we formalized this agreement in a treaty from 51. And the treaty stated two things. First of all, that U.S. acknowledged the full ownership of Greenland to Denmark. And secondly, that the U.S. got free right to place bases on Greenland. And they started developing military bases on Greenland. They had 15 to 20 bases altogether in the heights of the Cold War. They had more than 10,000 American troops on Greenland. But over time, when it was not as necessary to have troops there, they reduced more and more. And over the last 10 years, the United States has continued to reduce the number of troops in Greenland. But the treaty is still there, and it has been updated again and again. The latest update was from 2004, where Secretary of State Colin Powell signed an agreement with the Greenlandic government and the Danish government to revitalize, to update the agreement. So the United States has now, on paper, in written, a treaty saying you can actually do with Greenland what you want in order to protect the United States. So, of course, you can't throw out minerals or whatever you have on the underground, but to protect it and to do a dome, whether it's golden or just efficient, you can do that right now.
So to put it in layman's terms, correct me if I'm wrong, essentially from a military strategic standpoint, the United States can almost do whatever we want militarily as long as we include Denmark in that and Greenland.
Yes, exactly. You can work with us and you can develop whatever is needed for the American defense. You have that right now. You could just say, hey, guys, let's do an agreement on the basis. And Denmark would say, yes, no problem. We'd like to have you there because we actually think that the partnership between U.S. and Denmark is vital, not only for U.S. security, but also for European security. So we are open for business, so to say. You don't have to smash the door. You can just use the handle and open it and get in. The agreement is there. The treaty is there. Just open the door. Crying out loud.
Imagine we're sitting having a beer, Kristin. You've been to Wisconsin. I know you love Wisconsin. What is it sitting over in Denmark? What is it sitting over in Denmark? You just think, oh, my God, if these people in Wisconsin only knew this, what is it that you want people in Wisconsin to know about Denmark and the relations between the United States and Denmark?
People of Wisconsin and the United States should know two things. That Denmark is the country that U.S. has had the longest unbroken diplomatic relations to, and that we have been fighting together in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and on any wars that the U.S. has asked us to join you in. And secondly, that we do love Americans, even though we don't love the administration right now. That so many Danes has a fond memory of visiting the United States, visiting Wisconsin, Richland Center, and all the other great places in your nation. And we want to get back to that. But we also need respect because our countrymen has fought and bled together with your troops in Afghanistan. When I was member of parliament, I voted to send my oldest friend into combat in Afghanistan because your president asked Denmark to do so. And we were proud to serve together with U.S. troops. We respect what you have done. We just ask for a little bit of respect back to Denmark.
Kristin, as far as the relationship, obviously there's a relationship that has to exist because of the current administration, but even moving forward, when you have conversations, obviously you're not in parliament anymore, but I imagine you still have a lot of relationships there. Of the how much trust has been broken permanently versus it begins and ends with this administration?
Well, trust is easily broken and hard to fix. Now it is broken to a large extent, so it will take some time to fix it. It will take some time to mend it. But I know that the Danish ambassador has just signed an agreement today with Massachusetts in exchange of research and development, higher education, and technical services. So we are doing deals. We are doing business. We are growing trust back together with the United States just not with DC right now, but with the states there. And I'm sure that Danish companies would love to continue to work together with American companies. And we would love to continue to have not only a business relationship or military relationship, but most and foremost, a friendship together with Americans. So we're hoping to come back to what life was pre-Trump.
All right. Well, Kristin Jensen, thank you so much for spending time with us and delaying your dinner. I can see in the background that it is already very dark there, and so we will let you go. But thank you for your insight today.
You're welcome. Thank you for the conversation. See you around, Todd.
Thanks, my friend. Take care.
Maybe it won't be another 10 years. He's
been asking me to come to Denmark for years.
You should go to Denmark.
It's time for Todd.
Go in the summer, though.
What?
Go in the summer. I feel like Denmark in the summer is like Wisconsin in the summer. It's the best time to go. All right, let's take another break. We'll be back after this.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. 40,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. That's not a crowd. That's a Milwaukee suburb. And 40,000 people are choosing relief without surgery. That bad back, that bulky knee, that hip that keeps barking at you. These people are saying, before you replace my knee or my hip, put my life on hold for 3 months. There has to be another way. And they found it with QC Kinetics. Patients who realize there are other options outside of surgery, and they're moving better thanks to QC Kinetics and its advanced regenerative treatments. We've learned that surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics activates your body's natural healing power. It's safe, it's natural, and best of all, non-surgical. So before you say yes to surgery, call QC Kinetics 414-667-5559. The consultation is free. 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those, and huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Pelicans on Lake Michigan. Yeah, good luck with that.
Why this beat so complex?
And here's a steal. Rollins picks the pocket of Schroeder. He ducks it home on the other side. Ryan Rollins doing Rollins kind of work.
The Bucks take on the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at Fiserv Forum. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. We have a minute and a half before we go to the bottom of the hour news. In the next half hour, Todd Allbaugh, are we going to talk about elections? Winter
Seems
Olympics?
important. Well, we can do both, right?
We can do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The games are on Friday, right? Not the games. The opening ceremonies is Friday, but I think curling starts today.
I'll take your word at that. I didn't have time to double check it, but I think you're right.
I think it's. Are you a fan? Are you more Summer Olympics or Winter Olympics?
No, I love the Winter Olympics better.
You do?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that's the common?
I don't know. For people that I know, I don't know. It just seems like, I think for me, it's because you can go to a high school. Both my godsons were track and field guys their whole high school career. And you can go to a lot of those type of events in Wisconsin, but you can't go to a lot of luge competitions or, downhill skiing competitions.
Well, not in Wisconsin, you can't.
That's what I'm saying. If
You're
you
not going to
need-
Cascade Mountain to watch competitive skiing.
Maybe. But
Charlie Berry's
I like
actually
the
has
stories.
a great bit about thinking that he could ski because he grew up skiing in Wisconsin and then going to Aspen. I mean, like, this is very different. This is very different. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about Wisconsin representation in the Winter Olympics and a current congressman wanting to change some things about our elections after the ABC News and then local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following the deaths of 2 Minneapolis citizens by federal agents, Border Czar Tom Homan announcing a drawdown of 700 agents in the Twin Cities.
The removal of some 700 agents will still leave about 2,000 immigration enforcement personnel in the Twin Cities. White House Border Czar Tom Homan says going forward, ICE and CBP agents will prioritize public safety risks in targeted operations.
We're not walking away from our mission. We're just making this more effective and more smart.
Homan says even with that refocusing, no one who's in the country illegally is off the table. He says further drawdowns will require an end to threatening activities against agents and deeper cooperation with local officials. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
In Florida, it is sentencing day for Ryan Ruth in the attempted 2024 assassination of Donald Trump on a Florida golf course. President Trump says negotiations with Iranian delegations on nuclear talks will move forward even after a U.S. fighter jet shot down an Iranian drone yesterday. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. A 38-year-old man shot and killed by Milwaukee police during a vehicle chase and foot pursuit happened on the city's northwest side Tuesday night, 98th and Lisbon. Police say the man had a gun. Officers told him to drop it. When he didn't, he was shot. Police still searching for a passenger who was in the vehicle. Democrats introducing a bill in the state legislature that would legalize both recreational and medical marijuana. Supporters point to a recent Marquette Law School poll that shows 67% of people support legalizing cannabis in some form. Some Republicans in the state Senate trying to pass their own bill to legalize marijuana, but only for medicinal use. UW Whitewater's launched a new major in artificial intelligence, making it one of the early adopters within the UW system. Bachelor's degree blends computer science, math, psychology, and philosophy, preparing students for careers in AI while focusing on ethical use of the technology. University leaders say the major is designed to meet growing workforce demand as artificial intelligence continues to reshape jobs across Wisconsin. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 151 points, 49,392. Nasdaq down 431, 22,823. S&P 500 down 53 points at 6,864. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have the left shoulder blocked due to a broken down vehicle. This is going to be I-41 at the I-41 94 North interchange. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny and 25 today. Partly cloudy, 12 overnight. Snow likely, light snow tomorrow. Maybe an inch accumulation. A high Thursday, 32. Slight chance of snow showers on Friday with a high 37. Sunny and cold on Saturday, 21 for the high. And snow Sunday morning, a high that day of 29. 15 in Madison, 16 in Green Bay, 21 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Practical principles that make every dollar count. Small budget advertisers can't afford to waste one penny. It all has to go to work in the most effective and efficient way possible. Anderson Smith advertisers are setting themselves apart 24 hours a day, every day of the year. The power of the airwaves is real. You just have to know how to harness it. We'll get you deals you can't, and you'll get results that you won't without us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Don't buy ad packages. Buy into a plan, even if you don't use us to do it. Because unless you're willing to sell your product or service for a lot less than what it's worth, you're setting yourself up for almost guaranteed failure. Put an ad plan together and stick to it. Tell them what sets you apart and have consistent branding so it can work for you with a snowball effect rather than just trying to make a big splash. And if you need someone who can really make your dollars work hard for you, Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Nail Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve is on vacation, sunning himself in Cancun, along with Rose Brey. I think they're having a great time, but that is the voice of Todd Allbaugh, who is sitting in with me today, having some fun. All right. There's a lot of different angles of this. The election thing never seems to go away as far as how we're running our elections. You're older than I am, which is an objective fact.
56.
Yes. Is there ever a time in your life than the last 5-6 years that there's been this much conversation around elections? Like, was this a pendulum at all, or has this ever been I guess maybe back in 2000 with Bush and Gore,
yeah,
but
that was one decision. I would say here in Wisconsin during the Walker years, where they implemented these so-called voter ID bills, which were voter suppression, in my opinion. And then, of course, we can't, 1960s, the Civil Rights Act and voting and that was for a specific segment.
That wasn't specific about how elections were run, right? Like, has there ever been this much consternation around about fraud, about not trusting people who are running the elections? Like, is this a phenomenon that is unique since 2020, or is there a different time where that's been an issue in your lifetime?
In my lifetime, I think that this is the most acute, and it's the first time that we've heard, in my opinion, assaults on voting to this degree. Certainly by the President of the United States. No other President of the United States in my lifetime, I guess I was born under Nixon, from Nixon until now, you never had a president who assaulted voting rights directly from either party.
Yeah, because now he being Trump wants Republicans to nationalize U.S. elections. Obviously, the Constitution might get in the way of that, but he said it on Don Bongino's podcast, because he's now not in the FBI. He's back to podcasting, which I maintain is probably more fun. It's more fun just to talk than to be part of...
To be responsible. A lot harder
certainly.
to be responsible.
But he said it on his podcast, and then I guess yesterday he doubled down and repeated it. So there's that aspect of it, but then there's also, in our own Brian Style, congressman, has now introduced the MEGA Act, which is exactly what you think it is: make elections great again, because we're just going to keep reusing that. I guess if it's not broken, don't fix it. And there's some parts of it that I think, like, ultimately, as you just said, when we talk about voter ID, it is very popular, right? I mean, I think when you look at some polling, as far as most people do think that you should have to prove who you are when you show up to vote. But there's other parts of this bill, because there's this is what photo ID to vote, requires states to verify citizenship during voter registration, require strong voter list maintenance, require mail-in ballots to be received by the close of polls on Election Day, with the exceptions for the military members overseas, require states to use auditable paper ballots, and would ban ballot harvesting, ban ranked choice voting, and ban universal vote by mail. Which, how many states are only vote by mail? Oregon, Washington?
Got me.
I think those are the two. So this is doing a lot. And specifically, to fix what?
Bingo.
Because this was the roundabout conversation we had on Friday between Jake Curtis and Joe Zepecki and me and Steve, of just like this concept that there is so much fraud and yet no probable cause for the fraud to be altering elections this much. And it's interesting because you and I were talking about this as, you grew up as a conservative, you left the Republican Party. Do you still identify as a conservative-minded person?
I think that term has been bastardized so much that I think I'm just...
Do you still believe in limited government?
Yes, I do. I believe in smaller government. And that's what's so ironic about this is that I believe that decisions closer to the people are better. So, better that people in Wauwatosa and Oconomowoc make decisions in Mequon more so than people in Madison, and better than people in Madison make decisions than in Washington, D.C. And that was historically what conservatives believed in.
Yeah.
And that's what's so shocking about Congressman Style. Look, you can say what you want about Congressman Style politically. He's not a dumb, intellectually stupid individual. He's a smart guy and been around a lot. He knows what he's doing. And so to propose something like this is so ridiculously over the top, because here's the question. I know that Steve's friends with him. He's been on this show, Congressman Style.
It's his congressman.
Here's what I would like to know from Congressman Style. Congressman, what cases of voter fraud were prosecuted in Wisconsin under former Republican Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen and Brad Schimmel? The answer, I believe, is 0. And when I was in the state legislature in 2019, I was serving as a staffer. Yeah. My boss asked this question, Dale Schultz, in 2011, 2012. I don't need to tell my whole story again, but after I testified under oath in a federal trial about this, Glenn Grothman, who is now a U.S. congressman, who was then a state senator, called me up at my private business and said, Todd, why are you? I think you're misremembering. That's what he said to me. I said, Glenn, where we did in our Senate office, we did an investigation of voter fraud in Wisconsin in 2012, 2011. Either 11 or 12. We found 2 cases. One was a former Republican staffer who voted in Madison and also in her hometown in northern Wisconsin. The other was the then estranged, I think, number 2, just like Lou, only he's on wife number 2. The estranged second wife of Robin Voss, who had voted in Racine and also voted in her parents' hometown in Idaho. And Robin Voss got the then Republican Racine district attorney to expunge that. That was it. 2
I did
cases.
not know that story.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so that's it. Those are the 2 cases we found in 2011, 2012. So we had J.B. Van Hollen since then, Republican Attorney General, Brad Schimmel, an Attorney General. How many cases of voter fraud? And when I said to Glenn Grothman, now he's in Congress by this time, I said, Glenn, where are the cases? And he goes, well, we think that they exist. I said, so Glenn, you're going to disenfranchise.
And what year was this?
That was the conversation with Glenn was 2016.
Okay.
And I said, so you're going to disenfranchise
this is
people.
before. This does go back before the 2020 election.
Yes.
As far as the presumption of fraud.
This is a Republican narrative that is completely disproved, and it goes back to the conversation that I witnessed in a state Senate closed Republican caucus, in which they knew that their ideas could no longer win 50% plus 1. So if you cannot win with your ideas, the only way you can win is to rig the elections, and that is by suppressing the vote. And so they look, personally, I've heard Steve say this.
That's interesting.
I'm for voter ID, by the way. I'm fine with having an ID to vote. That's fine. But then what they did in 2011, 2012 is they said, well, you can't use a student ID to vote. And now, if you have a driver's license, you cannot bring in a current driver's license from another state if you just moved here and switch it out. You have to find your birth certificate or a passport or a military ID. And Mary Lozick, former state senator, stood there in that closed caucus, and she said, the reason we have to pass this, she said, quote, hey, we got to think about what this means for places like Milwaukee and college campuses, unquote. And that was a huge dog whistle because those places, of course, vote more Democratic historically. And for all you that say I'm making this up, because I'm sure there'll be people that say that, fair. How many people in the media have called me out that were in that room? How many state senators? How many lawsuits have I gotten against me for slander?
Because you talk about it pretty publicly.
Zero. Yeah. The answer is zero. Because they know I spent 2.5 hours with the U.S. Department of Justice, who have all the notes, and they know they're guilty, and they know that they're screwed.
Put it on your tombstone, Todd.
Look, I'm passionate about this because this is why I left the Republican Party long before Trump.
Yeah. All right. Let's put a pin in that. Let's have some fun. Talk some Winter Olympics.
Lighten up.
Lighten up a little bit. He's Todd Allbaugh. I am Kristin Brey, and this is Point Taken.
MW Marine. Anglers, looking to up your game on Lake Michigan? Join MW Marine in Hales Corners for a free fishing seminar this Saturday at 11 a.m. Meet Tyler Schrader, Ranger and Mercury Pro, as he gives an introduction to small boat Lake Michigan trolling. Perfect for weekend fishermen. No reservations needed, just show up. Plus, check out all the new boats on display. That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. at MW Marine in Hales Corners.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
All right, the Winter Olympics are upon us, and you said you prefer, Todd Allbaugh, you prefer the Winter Olympics to the Summer Olympics.
I just find it more entertaining, I guess. It's different.
What's your favorite events to watch?
I really enjoy like the figure skating stuff because there's so many stories there. And there's always, like, you're just one slip away from it all literally crashing, right? So it's like every single move has to be on. And when you see the amount of work and training they put into that. I'm also a downhill ski guy. And, I don't know.
Hockey?
Of course, hockey. Yeah. I mean, especially
there's
women's
a whole
hockey.
brigade of new hockey fans thanks to Heated Rivalry.
Oh, yes.
So I think there's going to be a lot more people tuning into, especially the hockey warm-ups.
That's always possible. Why couldn't I go as a
the
correspondent?
stretching that they do before the game, very entertaining.
I've applied to be a trainer.
But also, I mean, the women's hockey team is like half Badgers.
That's
or
the
something
cool
crazy,
story.
right?
That's the cool. Maybe that's the other part that Wisconsin was Dan Spitz, right, from Wisconsin, that trained at the Pettit Ice Center for and won the gold medals there. So many Wisconsin connections to the Winter Olympics. Not that there aren't for summer as well, but I feel like Wisconsin proportionally sends more Olympians to the Winter Olympics, and I like following
think so?
those. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I don't have the data behind that to confirm or deny. But I do know that we're all obviously cheering for Jordan Stoltz from Kewaskum. What I think will be really interesting is thinking back to the last Summer Olympics. And I feel like there was so much. And what I only realized halfway through the Olympics that time was it was the first time that the Olympics loosened their grip on what athletes could post on social media. Like prior to that, there was a lot of restrictions on posting your experience while you were at the Olympics. And, and also you had to like watch it when it was on. And then this last time, if you had Peacock, you could go back and watch things that were in different time, and go back and rewind it and all these different things of like the public's ability to engage with the Olympics was enhanced tenfold this last Summer Olympics. And there were so many viral moments that came out of it. There were so many like characters that came out of it, like Alana Marr, who was on the rugby team, and the pommel horse, Kent Clark.
I can't say his name. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting this year to see how engaged we feel because the athletes are posting on social media.
I think it's gonna be great. And to your point, speaking of Todd being old, because I remember the 1980 Miracle on Ice.
Ugh.
And Al Michaels with that call. I have my Al Michaels quarter zip on, by the way, for those watching on the stream. You can find this on YouTube at 620 WTMJ. But then when the Olympics, those were like placid. But it used to be when the Olympics were in another country, you had to wait.
Oh, yeah.
For the results.
Yeah.
With the tape delayed. And now, of course, it's all in our palm of our hand.
Whenever you want it, on demand. All right. We will take one more break and then come back and wrap up today's show.
The Milwaukee Weight Loss Program has been able to change the lives of thousands of people with this incredible metabolic reset program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There's no better time than now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. Schedule your free consultation now by visiting MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss and MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Many patients just like me, because in 2025, I lost 45 pounds. Yes, 45 pounds. And here's the cool thing. I kept that weight off. Many patients, though, lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call right now for your free weight loss consultation. Easy. 262-449-1180. Here's the number, 262-449-1180, or go online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Don't wait. Call today or go online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
A buck in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy one, two, or a set of four. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South 27th Street and Griffin Ford Waukesha. The $1 deal at Griffin. Make your dollar go further. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. We know that the people of Milwaukee are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, the nation's border czar says he's working with leaders in Minnesota as he takes over immigrant enforcement operations in the state.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
After Wisconsin's first measles case of the year in Waukesha County, more than 50 people are now under quarantine for possible exposure.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, welcome back to Point Taken with Steve Scafidi, who is sunning himself in beautiful Cancun, having a greenie right now, or something like that, down in the...
Negroni.
Negroni, sorry, I say Negroni. I say I'm making mistakes.
Or a banana daiquiri.
Kristin Brey, always here, always spectacular, does not make mistakes, 620 WTMJ. Speaking of mistakes, I said Mark Spitzy is a swimmer. I should know that.
I was thinking when you were saying that, I was like, I feel like...
Olympians, talking about famous Wisconsin Olympians. Eric Heiden, who I was trying to think of, 5-time gold medal winner from Madison. Bonnie Blair, 6-time medalist from right here in Milwaukee. Dan Jansen, of course, as well, big Olympian from Wisconsin. And now you got Jordan Stolz and all kinds of other people from that's part of why the curling guy, who I can't think of right now.
Who's at ESPN Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of his name as well right now, too. But he's famous for his...
So, the curling, the throw.
Is he? I don't even know if he's competing right now. I don't know. We probably should have looked this up before we came back on air.
The point is, I think it's a great opportunity for the world to come together. Here's what I'll be interested in. With all the reputation of the United States right now, what's the reception going to be like on Friday night during the opening ceremonies when the U.S. Olympians walk in?
Also interesting as far as what's going to happen with the World Cup this summer.
And there's that.
But either way, there is the Super Bowl this Sunday.
Yes.
Do you have a team that you're rooting for?
Bad Bunny.
All right, you're Team Bad Bunny?
I am Team Bad Bunny. I think he's fantastic, a great story. Of course, won the Grammys, the big Grammy Award, the top award of the weekend. Sports-wise, I'm pulling for Seattle just because I don't like the Patriots.
All right, fair. You're like...
You?
I could care less who wins the game.
Really?
I could care less. But I will say I'm also rooting for Bad Bunny. I know Bad Bunny more for his comedic chops. If you have not watched Happy Gilmore 2, he steals every scene. And also just Google the Shrek SNL sketch that he was in. Very funny. And that alone, because it's very hard to be funny in a different language.
Yes.
So, all right. So we're rooting for Bad Bunny.
Yep, Bad Bunny.
And a good Super Bowl
Bad
halftime
Bunny.
show. All right. Todd, Allbaugh, thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Kristin Brey, always a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll see you the next time Steve's on vacation. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. News is next.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWI.com or stop in today.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.